Lately, we have been flooded with wave of exciting leaks and teasers for Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. And guess what? I discovered when it's gonna release, which is surprisingly sooner than you'd expect. We also gonna reveal Chapter 4 characters and talk about the mystery behind the prototype, aka the final boss. So sit back and clutch your Poppy toy, and let's jump right into the details. Let's take a closer look at the release dates of Chapters 1, 2, and 3, and speculate on when Chapter 4 might hit the scene. Chapter 1 graced our screens back in October of 2021, followed by Chapter 2 in May of 2022. And then Chapter 3 made its debut in January of 2024. Despite a slight delay, Chapter 4 still keeps us waiting for about 2 years, a significant leap from the 7-month gap we experienced between Chapters 1 and 2. In fact, it's almost triple the waiting time. Understandably, fans are now pondering whether Chapter 4 will stretch the waiting game to another 2 or even 3 years. This prolonged wait is especially agonizing considering the cliffhanger we were left with in Chapter 3. Waiting until 2027 for answers would certainly be a tough pill to swallow, but I remain hopeful that we won't have to wait that long. Now, let's address the recent revelations from Mob and Entertainment. According to their Twitter announcements, Chapter 3 underwent an 8-month development period. Assuming Chapter 4 follows a similar timeline, with a runtime of approximately 2.5 hours, we could be looking at a potential release in about 10 months. Some optimists even suggest a release as early as this year, but I'm inclined to believe it's more likely to grace our screens sometime in 2025. While that might seem like a distant future, we can take solace in the fact that we'll still have teasers and trailers to tide us over, while we eagerly await the game's release. And for those skeptics who doubt that Chapter 4's development has already begun, let's not forget about that intriguing poster spotted in Chapter 3. The image of Poppy standing proudly in front of an amusement park, proudly declaring, "Elliot Lewick presents Playtime's Park," has sparked countless theories and speculations. While theme parks may not typically be associated with indoor settings, there are indeed some indoor theme parks around the world. Plus, Mob Games has a track record of planning ahead for future projects, as they've reiterated multiple times on their Discord and Twitter accounts. With all this in mind, it's not unreasonable to believe that Chapter 4 could see the light of day as early as 2025, perhaps even in the summer months. After all, a rushed release would do a disservice to the game and its fans, so a carefully timed summer launch seems like the ideal scenario. With my prediction for the release date in mind, let's dive into some tantalizing leaks and teasers, shall we? Stay tuned as we explore snippets from both Chapter 3 and the much-anticipated Chapter 4, coming your way soon. Now let's talk about the potential characters for the upcoming chapter of the game. Marking the anniversary of Chapter 2, Mob Entertainment released a video on their YouTube channel revealing some behind-the-scenes secrets. Among these revelations were numerous scrapped character designs, some of which boast impressive creativity. The developers mentioned in their Discord server that if any of these characters gain popularity through fan art or other means, they might consider including them in future game installments, possibly even in the next chapter. However, to date, fan art for these characters seems scarce, leaving their inclusion in the next chapter uncertain. A particularly intriguing character is a bird-like figure initially introduced in a Bunzo Bunny comic released for Easter. The comic, which ultimately did not progress the story, depicted Bunzo Bunny discovering an egg, leading to speculation that a bird character might feature as the villain in the next chapter. Despite these theories, the narrative took a different turn, and the anticipated bird character did not materialize. Furthermore, the developers teased a mysterious female character for Chapter 3, speculated by some to be a flamingo, which instead turned out to be Miss Delight, with no avian characters introduced. This has led to speculation that the bird character may be reserved for Chapter 4, or could be part of an entirely new project, unrelated to Poppy Playtime, as hinted by discussions of multiple ongoing projects in the Mob Entertainment Discord server. Despite the focus on other ventures, including a movie and new games, the developers have shared some optimistic news. The main antagonist for Chapter 4 has been conceptualized, suggesting that preparations for the next chapter are underway. This planning includes character designs and potentially voice recording, indicating a rich development phase. As we await Chapter 4, the anticipation builds not just for the game itself, but for the teasers and leaks that will inevitably surface. I am committed to bringing you all the latest updates and discussions surrounding these developments. ensuring you stay informed and excited for what's to come. Continuing with more revelations about Chapter 4. Although this first one isn't a direct Chapter 4 leak, it's more about Chapter 3. Mob Entertainment recently rolled out some updates for Chapter 3, focusing on bug fixes and potentially unveiling new secrets. If you stumble upon any, don't hesitate to share your findings in the comments. Another intriguing discovery within Chapter 3 is the cameo appearance by CG5 in Poppy Playtime 3. Behind one of the play care areas, you'll spot a catnap plush next to a radio playing a CG5 song. Now, Mob Entertainment is officially collaborating with CG5, a familiar face from TikTok last summer. They've even released a promotional video together. Now, regarding this collaboration, it raises some questions. Will CG5 have a role in Chapter 4, or is he solely contributing music to the game? Considering his previous involvement in Chapters 1 and 2, it's unclear whether he's receiving support from Mob Games for the upcoming installment. If you have any insights into the nature of this collaboration, feel free to share them in the comments below. Regardless, it's exciting to see Mob Games teaming up with another prominent YouTuber. Shifting gears, let's explore an intriguing element from Chapter 3 that could shed light on what's to come in Chapter 4, the prototype. Towards the conclusion of Chapter 3, Poppy hinted that catnap was the primary obstacle in defeating the prototype, suggesting that he'll play a pivotal role in the next installment. However, our knowledge about this character remains limited, with only a glimpse of his hands seen thus far. A prevailing theory speculates that the prototype may be Oli, the enigmatic guide from Chapter 3. This speculation gains traction due to Oli's mysterious nature and the prototype's ability to mimic voices, as observed in a VHS clip from Chapter 3. Perhaps Chapter 4 will unveil the shocking revelation that Oli has been the prototype all along, leading to an epic showdown. Yet, this revelation raises questions about Poppy's involvement and intentions. Is she aware of Oli's true identity? And if so, what are her motives? The ambiguity surrounding Poppy's actions adds depth to the storyline, leaving fans intrigued and eager for answers. Now let's discuss one of the most captivating mysteries from Chapter 3, which cleverly tees us up for the adventures awaiting in Chapter 4, the enigmatic prototype. As the chapter wraps up, Poppy clues us in on a major twist. Catnap was merely the final obstacle before we face the prototype, hinting strongly at his role as the main villain in the next installment. What makes this even more intriguing is how little we actually know about this character. We've only caught a brief glimpse of his hand. Rumors are swirling around the possibility that the prototype could actually be Oli, the elusive guide from Chapter 3. This theory is particularly compelling because our understanding of Oli is shrouded in mystery, and yet we're meant to follow her lead without question, all on Poppy's word. To thicken the plot, a VHS clip from Chapter 3 reveals the prototype's ability to imitate voices, deepening the enigma of who he truly is.
Ready to talk now, are you? I possess
a question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel anything?
This question referred to what exactly?
You stick us, beat us, tear at flesh. Do you feel it?
Regardless, I learn something new about you every day. It excites me.
Thank you.
You thank me.
Absolutely.
I learn something new about you every day.
As you've noticed, the voice undergoes several transformations throughout that VHS tape, hinting that we might uncover in Chapter 4's climax that Oli has been masquerading as the prototype all along. This revelation could leave us into an epic boss fight where our mission is to defeat the prototype. This scenario begs an intriguing question. Is Poppy aware of Oli's true identity as the prototype? If she is in the know and still guides us toward danger, it casts a shadow over her motives, suggesting she is evil and she's trying to get us killed. However, I'm inclined to believe she's unaware, especially considering her actions in Chapter 3, where she intervenes to save us from Kissy Missy, which contradicts the notion of her leading us to our doom. Yet, her refusal to let us escape in Chapter 2 adds layers of mystery to her character, leaving her true intentions up for debate. What are your thoughts? Is Poppy a friend or foe? Could Oli really be the prototype in disguise? Share your theories and opinions in the comments below.